What is this?
Your wife has been killed.
So listen, I am obsessed with getting more people into movie theaters to see movies. So what I've been asking everybody is, do you have a favorite movie theater?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go.
Well, just because I was living there for 11 years, the Glasgow Film Theatre, it's like an old 1930s film or cinema, and it's just gorgeous, and I love going there.
You know, I really love, I love the Lincoln Center, the Dolby Theater there. It's just, it's not an art house theater, which I also love those, but it's a really epic theater going experience, and I see everything there. It's close to my house, which doesn't hurt.
I also love the IMAX theater at Lincoln Square. That IMAX screen is phenomenal.
It's really good. Yep.
Jumping into why I get to talk to you guys. First, like I said, congratulations. I thought this movie was so well done. For both of you, what was it about this script that said, oh yes, I am doing this?
It was just really smart.
Yeah.
It was very well written. It was very smart. I thought it was a really unique and creative take on this genre. And it also felt like there was just such great character pieces throughout it, along with all of the action and everything else. Each one of these characters felt really fully formed and had a lot of depth to them.
This was definitely evident in the script, but it's also a testament to Rami and James having such a careful eye on this. I love how real all the action felt. Mm. Sometimes in this genre, it can feel like the action is there because of the genre, and we all buy in, and it's a really fun theater-going experience. But in this one, I know Rami's talked about this moment, but I love that huge explosion goes off and he flinches. You know, the idea of having the opportunity to take someone's life and the way that might weigh on somebody is really explored in this film. And it doesn't take away from how big the scope is or how familiar other parts of the genre are. And for me, as somebody who's not necessarily the target audience for the genre, it helped me find a way in a way that I've never experienced before.
I brought that up with Rami. Like, something that I really enjoyed was the fact that when he kills someone, it's not just glossed over. Like, the emotional repercussions are felt and dealt with, which I thought, most movies avoid that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think a big part of it is, when somebody experiences loss like that and they're driven to do something and they think that they're in a pursuit of justice, but often that gets confused with revenge. And I think it's the cost of what revenge does to you, and does it bring you solace? And I think this is a big kind of theme in the film, which I thought was also really interesting.
So I really enjoy both of your work, and I love talking to actors about how they get ready. So for a role like this, say you're going to be shooting on Monday, September 1st. What is it like in the weeks leading up to that day? How much are you sort of like, what is it actually like? Like in those weeks leading up, if you don't mind.
It feels so different, just speaking personally, project to project. Mm-hmm. With this one, because we had very little real estate, Rami and I, to make a real impact with this relationship. And I know how important it was to him, not only in building Heller's journey for himself, but also making sure that the emotional impact landed for the audience. We just spent a lot of time talking about it. We got on FaceTime. I was doing a play here in New York and couldn't join until about halfway through their shoot. And so we sat on FaceTime for hours and talked about what the most dynamic version of this relationship was, how we could use the scenes as they were on the page to bring out different sides of both characters. And so that was mostly the process for this. And then we got to show up, and James really gave us space to experiment on the day. And Rami's such a gifted actor, but also a producer, and had an eye on it both from the inside and the outside. And so it was just a real joy. I also felt like we were in a different movie. We didn't do as much of the
it's like the summer,
action adventure
it was
part.
Beautiful. Yeah. For me, I sort of in a different way, Inquiline, there's so much that we don't know about her. So I got to do an awful lot of work by myself where I could fill in that backstory for myself. And, there's not really a template that sort of is an easy search, but I was really inspired by this Russian activist, Nadia Tolokonnikova, who's one of the Pussy Riot activists. And I just thought that just her bravery and everything that she had gone through, I was like, oh, that's kind of the spirit that I wanted to inhabit. And so I watched a lot of her, she has an amazing TED Talk. She has a lot of podcasts that she did. So I listened to anyone that I could find on that. I sort of used her as the example for the accent as well. But yeah, it was just sort of trying to capture that essence of somebody who really speaks truth to power.
I'm almost out of time. I want to ask each of you an individual question. I wanted to ask you, you have now wrapped on Outlander, a huge chapter of your life. What was it like filming the series finale with the emotions and and what do you think fans are going to feel at the end? And an individual question for you. My number one film of the year is Superman, and
cool.
Cannot wait. And one of the reasons I'm so excited is that every first film recently has been about setting up things. And what's unique about Superman is that you're joining in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
The movie opens and you're like, it's been going on for a while. This is just the beginning.
Yeah.
So can you sort of talk about that aspect of the film and what you're excited for people to see?
Yeah. You first.
Wrapping Outlander was very emotional. Everybody came to set, which was just very weird because they gave Sam and I a 7-page scene that was just full of dialogue to finish on. And yet the whole studio was full of execs and all the cast and everybody. So there was lots and lots and lots of tears. But I'm just very proud of the show, and I'm excited for the fans to see it. And I just hope we've done right by them.
What do you think fans will think at the end?
Well, I don't even know the ending, which I think is, we've sort of
Really?
filmed it in a couple of different ways, and Matt, I think, is going to decide.
Cool.
Which I think is great, so I can't lie.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think they're going to be satisfied. I think there's a lot of, we brought a lot of people back. There's a lot of the story is sort of explained, and I hope they are anyway.
I'm sure they will be.
That's so cool. Well, now I feel like I can say a little bit more because James really busted it wide open at CinemaCon. David and I had been trying not to say so many things for weeks leading up, and James just laid it all out. Yeah, I also love that this is not an origin story. We've seen the origin story done so well a number of different times, but we come into a world that already exists. Lois and Clark are working at the Daily Planet. Monsters exist in Metropolis. Lex Luthor has Luthor Corps. And we drop in at this point in their relationship that I've never seen before, which is that they've been together for about 3 months and they're asking some questions about the future of their relationship. They're not sure if this is something that was just a really great fling or something that could be forever. And they have really opposite worldviews, and they bump up against each other that way. And so it was a really fun way into a familiar story. And my first day of shooting was actually this 10-page long scene with David that we auditioned with. And so we shot it for 2 days. And to be able to do that just sort of laid this foundation for us and these characters that we got to carry through the rest of the film. But James has such a clear vision for this, and we all just fell into his very capable hands. James Gunn, not James Hawes.
So many James.
Other James.
I have to stop. I'm just going to say congrats on this, and I really look forward to talking to you again in a few months.
Thank you.
Have
Me
a
too.
fantastic day.